The Supreme Court takes sides in a long-running battle. Sponsors of Boston's St. Patrick's Day Parade are allowed to keep gays out. A report from Jim Stewart. New trouble for Boris Yeltsin as Chechen rebels free their Russian hostages and head home in victory. And Eye on America. Peter Van Sant on the militia connection with juries ignoring the judge.
Many of these judges sit up there and they're nothing but a bunch of black-robed thugs.
And taking the law into their own hands.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
Good evening. A Supreme Court ruling today on freedom of speech. The court said control of a privately sponsored parade is protected by the Constitution. So sponsors of the St. Patrick's Day Parade in Boston have the right to ban gay groups from marching. Correspondent Jim Stewart has more now about the ruling and the impact.
South Boston has never marched to anyone's drummer but its own. And today the Supreme Court made it official in a unanimous decision. The community that calls itself Southie can now invite or not invite anyone it pleases to its parades.
It's marvelous. It's a great victory, especially 9-0. You know, it's not just a victory for me, South Boston, the Allied Council. It's a victory for the entire country.
In a case closely watched for freedom of speech implications, the argument centered on South Boston's decision to forbid gays and lesbians from marching in a parade celebrating St. Patrick's Day and the anniversary of the British evacuation of the city. When state courts ruled to allow the gay community to march in 1992 and 93, parade sponsors went to federal court and Southies erupted in protest. Today, Justice David Souter spelled out the court's decision. A speaker has the autonomy to choose the content of his own message, and that choice is presumed to lie beyond the government's power to control. Gay rights activists worry the decision condones discrimination.
We think that it is a hollow victory, that they have not done the right thing. They have prevented us from taking our rightful place among the Irish family.
Civil libertarians, however, say both sides win.
And consider the reverse situation. Gays and lesbians should have their own free speech right to present their undiluted message, just as the St. Patrick's Day Parade does.
And that, the court agreed, is at the heart of this decision. Parades are just another form of free speech, and you can't make the speaker change the message just to make the message more acceptable to others. Jim Stewart, CBS News, Washington.
In another high-profile case today, the Supreme Court rejected an appeal from the adoptive parents of the child known as Baby Richard. The Illinois couple surrendered the 4-year-old boy to his biological father back in April after the state Supreme Court ruled that his adoption was not legal. Inside Russia, new trouble for Boris Yeltsin with possible far-reaching consequences. Chechen rebels have struck terror into the Russian heartland, stalled the Russian military campaign against them, and live to fight another day. That is the stunning outcome of a 5-day siege in southern Russia. The Chechen rebels took up an offer of safe passage today and left town still protected by more than 100 human shields. Jonathan Sanders has our report.
6 days after they shot their way into a Russian town, taking thousands of hostages, Chechen rebels headed home today with what appears to be a major victory, however brutal. They won safe conduct back to Chechnya in 7 buses and a refrigerated truck loaded with fallen comrades. They also won a ceasefire by Russian troops in their breakaway republic and the resumption of peace talks. In return, they released most of the hostages held in a hospital in Budyonovsk. Not everyone in the little Russian town found their loved ones in the chaotic aftermath of this grand-scale terrorist incident. I can't find him anywhere.